Welcome back to Titan. So in the last episode I was working on the solid fuel generator and I'm going to try to get some more work done on that this time. Hopefully get some automation done around it. I should just say before we start, apologies if my voice is a bit croaky today. I'm recovering from being sick as a result, I have not made a video for a few days, but I thought I'd give it a try today. We'll see how we get on. Anyway, before we get started, I'm going to go and eat. I think that's a good idea. So we'll cook a quick potato. And because it has been a little while, let's check. Right, the air tank is probably not great. At some point I need to sort out a cryo tube to fix my lungs. I wonder if they work in real life, but we'll make do for now. I mean, the good news for cryo tubes is at least it's very easy to get hold of plenty of cryogenically cold nitrogen here. Right, let's put that through there. Come on. Turn on. Okay, right, with all that done, let's go and get cracking. So, if I get time, that's getting fixed this episode. If I don't get time, it's getting fixed soon, I promise. It is annoying me as much as it's annoying all of you. Right, okay, let's go. So first thing I'm just going to need to check in on, because it has been a few days, is how easy it's going to be to connect all of the things I need to a sensor network. Now, I just hope we don't actually lose too much of the CO2 that we've been hopefully starting to acquire. Let's grab that. So we've definitely got some pollutant ice there. Throw that over that end. Okay, it doesn't look like there is actually any CO2 ice, although there's of course a possibility it could just form and fall straight in there. Right, so what I'm trying to get to is to see, that's the power output, and then that's connecting onto the black data network. Okay, so I'm probably going to need a logic bridge, because I'm going to need to start, unless I want to take this all the way down to the other end of the base, which I kind of don't, the beginnings of my data network, not bridge, mirror. So I will mirror the status of this onto it, because I'm going to need to know if that chute is full. If there is nothing on the input for that generator, then we are going to want to keep coal being routed straight through. Where am I going to put that mirror? I could put it inside that enclosure. I don't really want to have to start mucking about inside there today. Right. Okay, let's make absolutely loads of cable, because that's how we should start every episode, right? Go. And I'm going to do my data network in purple. No particular reason other than the fact that the first time I made a data network I did it in purple, so it's just easy for me to remember that purple is data network colour. Right. Let's go grab some more. If we've got some more copper, have we got more copper in here? Surely we haven't run out of copper. Maybe we have. Oh no, there it is. Thank you very much. I'll take you. And I'll put you in there. And off you go. I'll turn that off. I wonder if it's worth putting an occupancy sensor in here to control both that and this light. It would save some. Is there a light? There is no light, is there? No. Okay. It's my suit. No, there's a light. Oh, it's my backpack light. Ah, dearie me, I'm really not too clever today, am I? This is going to go well, I can just tell. Right, we're going to need a load of chutes as well. We're actually going to need, I think, at least one powered chute. Which is going to need electrum and constantan. But we're going to need plenty of these, so I'm going to run that down. There's some constantan, some electrum in there. I suspect there's some... No, there's not some in there. Maybe that's all I have. Constantan, but not electrum in there. Alright, well... That was relatively easy. Okay, that was dumb. No, stop. It's too late now, isn't it? Right, okay. Right. That's what I get for saying it was easy. Right, okay. I'm going to need the electrum. Right, we're going to throw that down there. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to grab that. Okay, that's a good start. Grab that one there. Actually, I may as well grab that because I may well need some more of it later. Right, and you can be recycled. Thank you. Right. So I need a logic. It's not a mirror, is it? It's an IO, I think. I'm going to check because I'll do this wrong. Extracted from logic IO. Yep. Okay. So now I'm going to need at least one of those. I suppose the question is, where am I going to set that up? I'm going to need to probably run something inside the substation and actually have a dedicated space for that. No, that's fine. You can stop there, actually. Okay. I suspect this is about to become one of those jobs that is a lot more complicated than I initially thought. Right, we're going to want some more chutes, probably quite a lot, so let's get some of that going. How much copper's left in there? 26, okay, we'll just chuck that there for now then. Electrum was the other thing I needed. Let's go take a look. 70 in there, so that's good. But it's going to be a bit of a pain to eject, isn't it? There we go. Right, that's what I needed. And I'll take that 20, put that in there. That can go back in there. Right. Okay, now things I am going to need. I'm certainly going to need at least one IC10. Oh, did I have a spare? In the back of my mind, I think I had a spare lurking somewhere. If I can just remember where I put the... No, maybe not. Maybe I hallucinated it. I expect I'll find a spare later somewhere. And housing... Okay, that's good. Right. So we're going to need to connect the solid fuel tank and the advanced generator for doing the solid fuel to the data network, and we're also going to need to connect a logic mirror connecting the generator. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do, actually I'm going to make a quick door because we can make a roll cover and make this look tidy. probably end up with several logic mirrors by the time this is done. Because we're going to want to mirror the batteries onto the logic network as well. Right, I'm going to go build that end first, I think. This can just make some more basic chutes until it runs out, because we're going to need loads of those. Let's go and get this bit done. It seems a reasonable place to begin. So, given that I know I am going to need a few, I'll put this inside and we'll actually build a proper logic interchange, or whatever we want to call it. And we'll connect this black network to the new purple one. Now, that's the most obvious place to put it, if it works. So the input from the black needs to come, power it from the black. Okay, that's probably work as long as we don't have anything interfering with it on the side there. Yeah, we do. Okay, so we need to come one away from the wall. That's a bit of a shame, because I was kind of hoping we could put one there and we could have a second one. Actually, it would never work anyway, so let's not even worry about that. We could do it that way round. That's also a quite good option. And then run the purple one out. I think we'll just keep this simple for now. We're fitting one. It is frustrating that I can't get two in there. I might have to do some recabling later. Right, we'll put the first one, as long as I can run the cable down the side of the door there. We'll put one there. Let's just check we can put the cable down the side. Yep, good. I'm actually going to swing that round, and I'm going to swing it underneath there. Okay, and then that can go in there. And this is going to become a roll cover. No, right. Oh my goodness, I had it and then it went wrong. No, come on. No, I don't want it upside down. What are you doing? There we go. There we are. See, that would be nice and neat. Right, okay, and then the bit I probably should have done was to, right, let's stash that. Let's actually connect these first so I could see what I was doing, but there we go. I would say you live and learn, but I'm not sure that is true today. I think I'm just doing dumb stuff. One down there. One in there. One down there, and at the very least we've got space to fit, well, at least one more below it. And ideally I'm going to want to move that cable so I can put some in there, but we'll worry about that later. Okay, so the input on that is going to be set to the solid fuel generator. Oops. There we go, and we'll turn that on, and we will rename that to nothing because the battery's flat. Let's try that one again. We will rename that to logic mirror solid fuel generator. I think I might call it solid fuel generator brackets mirror. I think that might be easier. Mirror with an R, not with a W. Oh my goodness, I don't even know where that came from. Right, there we go, and then we'll close that up nice and neatly, and there we go. So that's quite a nice, neat way of doing that, I think. That's good. Right, let's be nice to this room and give it a little bit of slightly cooler air. Hasn't really made any difference, had it? No, never mind. Right, let's go. Probably just injured my lungs a little bit more, but what are lungs for anyway? Right, now hopefully, there we go. It's up from here. question is, we're good to just, I think we are, connect it up there. Yes. Now, let's think about this. I might just run it along. No, we're going to have a problem there, aren't we? Where that comes down. Work out the most efficient way to run that cable. I mean, to be honest, this could be tidied up substantially now and just run along that edge of this frame. That'll give me some space to run a purple cable along. There's going to be some significant messing about there, isn't there? Maybe I'll try and get it up onto the top there. That's actually quite a good strategy. We'll still have to cross the red power cable somehow though. Okay. It's never easy, is it? Can't even run it along that edge because that red power cable over there. I mean, where it needs to end up ultimately is right over there. So I was kind of thinking, can I run it along? I mean, I mostly can, can't I? I can run it along this edge and then across that edge. I just got to figure out what I do even around here is okay. It's really that bit, which does need rewiring anyway, so maybe that's the excuse, but more fundamentally that bit. Okay, well let's guesswork it out from there. I might put it right on the edge unless I have to. Give me a little bit more wriggle room later. So the idea here is that later on as we go, we'll wire up a whole load of base-wide sensors and controls and other things, and we can just connect. As long as we can get them onto this purple network, we know we can get the data. That's the plan. Right, we're going to need to end up over there somewhere. Which is a bit tricky to know exactly where until I've connected internally, but I think if we run it along this edge here, gonna need more cable. No, go there. I sort of suspected that I would need quite a lot of cable to do this. Okay, well, let's go make some more then. Right, maybe we'll drop that for a minute. And cable is down there. Set to 50, yes. Okay, let's go. Right. It's going to take a minute to print that much, isn't it? If we've got any more copper, because I feel like we're going to need it. Yes. Get in there. Right, that's enough to be going on with. Okay, up and over. I've also got to figure out how to connect all these chutes yet as well, so, you know, plenty to do. Right, okay, so this was on that far. Where's the other end? It's along here. So we'll curve that round. And we'll run that, whoops, down there. No, come on, seriously. No. Go there. Oh my god, what is going on with the snap points today? Right, okay. So that gets us most of the way that end. And it gets us started at this end. Okay. Let's go retrieve the next bundle. $39. Probably won't be enough, but it'll keep me going for a minute. Right. So that's going up there, I think, yes. This is a stub, we'll fit that there. It's mostly okay, it's just that bit. I'm not sure that even connects anywhere yet, but it is there for a reason, because we said we wanted to run a main power bus. I might just have to accept some slightly ugly workaround cabling here. Because I don't think there's a better solution if I run it along the bottom. Oh, wait. What if I do run it right along the bottom, though? That might actually be genius. I mean, it's a bit of extra cable, but it should be cleanly out of the way of everything else. Because no one wants to run a cable along here. Let's give this a go. Oh, right, come on. Ah. Right, okay, there we go. Actually, that's pretty good, because I can bring it out here now. Cable routing is definitely one of the bigger challenges in Stationeers. Right, there we go. So that is now coming up there. So I should be able to bring that neatly across here. And that one can come down there. And that can go across there. That almost looks like it was meant to be like that. Go. Right, let's put that away. Now, at the risk of creating more work later, let me see if I can... I don't need that anymore. In fact, I don't need that whole branch there, do I? And done right, I won't need that branch either. Probably shouldn't have done that quite like that. Whoops. Not sure what that's actually connected to down there now. Literally nothing. Is that now totally defunct? I'll leave that as a little stub just in case I screwed that up. Right, now, where's the green cable? There it is. There we are. Actually fixed that as well, more by accident, but you know, it's done. Should all be happy with me. Right, let's get this in here. This will need some serious routing as well at some point. But that will come across. I'll probably run it across here actually. This could be cleaned up quite a lot though. I brought that across. I'll leave myself a bit of room for the main power trunk. Right. Is there a neater way to do this junction? Maybe. Whoops, I think I had it, but there we go. I messed it up. There we are. Okay, that's a little bit better anyway. Still a bit mad, but right, while we're here, let's fix those and fix the colour of these. Oops, can't be bothered to do the really difficult ones, but for these easy ones we might as well just go and do them. It's one less piece of confusion for later. Yeah, what I hadn't really thought about is the fact that the whole gas processor is actually running off that industrial network, isn't it? So we'll need to split that anyway. Okay, so I'm not going to do too much more on that, because we are going to have to change it. This bit's fine because this is what it is, and just needs to be correct. But the gas processor, we will put a transformer and run it directly off the main power once we do that, once we get that set up. Now this is messy and unnecessary here as well. If I'm going to run the main power that side, I'd probably want to run this further along there, although that's got to be powered. I say it's got to be powered, it actually hasn't. I could run that off the main power network. That's the only thing, but even if that was running straight off main power, it would hardly be the end of the world. Okay, so maybe that's cleaner long term, is to actually run it this way. Have I got enough to do this? Need to snip. Right, that can just become a... Actually... Right, I feel like I'm ending up doing a job that I did not plan to do, but at least we're tidying up. Oh, not quite. It's not quite going to go, is it? I was hoping I could just get that across to there. I mean, I guess I could, because I could take this lot out of here. This is all duplication. That's how to do it. Ah, I did it the right way around and accidentally clicked the button. There we go, connect that and that. There we are, and then yes, take that off there and put that there and there. And around there. Longer term, I'll take this whole run out because we'll run the main power trunk, but that will run, that's now got space to run along here, so that's a lot cleaner. We'll run that straight off main power. That may as well just stay running off main power, and then we can run the trunk along here and probably sever that and actually run all of that can be run off a dedicated separate network for in here. However, between now and then, let's see where we can bring this through. Right. So there's that purple cable. That's good. We can put the control chip out here. But we will need... I'm not going to have enough cable, I suspect, but at least I can start to see what needs to be connected where. Actually, that's all connected to that network, so we could mirror it. Or I could properly split the data networks. That's a bit of a faff. Probably easy. I just need that tank, and I need the data side of this. The data side of this would be easy. I could just run a purple one through the wall here, couldn't I? No, I couldn't, because there's something the other side. I remember now. There's another cable there. But that could come... Okay, that could come further out. That doesn't have to go there. That junction is driving... Yeah, that's the branch that's currently going down to the furnace. Okay, so... Yeah, I could do this. Okay, I'm one short. Wrong way round. Split one. Drop that. That's the one. Okay, good. Grab that, grab that. That through there. Okay. Then that would allow me to put a purple through there, which hopefully I can connect up over here. It's not quite right, but it's good enough. I've just thought, have I messed? I have messed with... Yeah, I've messed with the... I've messed with the existing control system for the furnace. That needs a bit more thought before I do that. The principle's nice, but what I want to do is to run that across there and in there and sever that and connect that, but I think the chip in here is probably relying on the furnace. I think. Well, maybe it's not. Oh, I've run out of slots to put that away as well. Brilliant. Okay, let's get our housing up anyway. We're going to put that on here. We'll use the compact housing. We'll just pop it straight in the middle for now. That can go in. That can go into there. I still don't have enough cable, but let's do that. Let's put that into there. Right. Okay, let's think about what this logic's going to need to do. Okay, so as always, let's leave a bit of space in case I need to initialize anything. Let's set up the basic loop. Right, so I think what we want to do is we're going to alias the SFG to device 0, and that will be the SFG mirror. We'll alias the hot tank to device 1. We'll alias the furnace to device 2. That's probably enough for now. So let's load into R0 the SFG. Now hang on, I need to load the slots, don't I? So I need to load slot 0. Occupied. Does that work? Quantity. I can probably read the quantity. Let's read the quantity. and we're going to do that because we're basically going to have an override here that will, and the bit we haven't yet set up is there'll be an alias for a chute route, which we'll put on D3. Right, and what we're going to do is we're going to say if R0, we're going to set, I don't know, what should we set? Let's call it R9. If SFG is less than, sorry, SFG, if R0 is less than, let's say, 3. So if there's less than 3 fuel remaining, except for the fact that there could be some stacked up behind it. So maybe we need to be a bit more sophisticated than that. Let's say if there's nothing in the solid fuel generator, because if there's nothing in the solid fuel generator, that implies there's nothing stacked up behind rather than we're at the tail end of a stack. Let's do that. I could make that an EQZ, that would just be probably easier, but we'll leave it like that for later. Right, so if there's less than 1 in the import slot, then we're going to set R9 to 1. And I'm going to alias actually just chute setting to R9, right? And then we'll chute setting. Right, so we're going to set the chute setting to 1. So 1 it will be bypass or direct to furnace mode, I should say, and 0 will be feed the solid fuel generator. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to check, right? If we've run out of fuel, we've just got to send it straight to the solid fuel generator. We don't have the luxury of making solid fuel ingots. The next question we need to ask is what is the state of the hot tank temperature and probably pressure whilst we're at it in case it's empty. Right, so let's check it's hot enough. So this one's a simple S GT R1 R1. How much margin shall we put in? 1000 Kelvin, 1100 Kelvin for now. So it's hot in 1100, and we'll say SGT R2 R2. If we're down to less than, say, 50 kPa, we'll assume that the hot tank's nearly empty and we probably haven't got enough. So if either of those are set, or rather if both of those are set, then the hot tank is full and we are ready to go. And the next thing we probably need to do is we need to load the input slot on the furnace. Whoops. And we need to load, no, or do we want the, let's have a quick look at this. We probably care about the input slot. We probably also care about the actual contents inside, don't we? So can we read the reagents? Maybe. I can't see it, but I might be being blind. How do I see what's already in there? Reagents, there we go. Right, okay. Total number of reagents. Okay, so we want the reagents and we also want the import slot because we want to know that there's either coal in there or there's coal ready to go in there. Right, so that's going to be quantity, and we're going to load into R4 furnace reagents. And again, this is a simple SGTZ R3 R3 and SGTZ R4 R4. Right, and then that's actually an OR because if either of them are greater than So if either of them have got something in, then R3 will now be set to 1. And then we now say and R1, R1, R3. So the hot tank is hot and has gas. The furnace has reagents either in the import slot or in the inside it. In those situations, we want to feed the coal into... Or do I even care if it's got any reagents in it? I don't care. I've just done a whole load of logic I don't need to worry about. Or except I could use that to activate the furnace later. Okay, well, we'll keep that handy. In the meantime, effectively, so let's call that R3. Right, R1 at this point, and still at this point, R1 is it ready, and R3 is it full and ready. So we'll route the coal. So we'll have a R9 will be 1 minus R1. So if the furnace is ready, we're going to set it to 0, and 0 will be the direct mode. Yes, okay, so 0 to SFG furnace, 1 to... Oops, no, hang on, that's not right. That's what I wanted to say. And we actually also need, therefore, to put something in. After we've done that check there, we need to say done. We need to say B Inez chute setting done, and let's just be absolutely sure and force the chute setting each time to 0, and then let's just clean this up a bit and we'll set that there. Okay, and then done is going to save out to D3, and this is where I'm going to have to look up the powered chutes and work out what type we need. We need a digital valve. I don't care whether it's left or right really, but I'd better check that they behave the same. Okay, so this is going to open or shut the valve. Right, okay, so they will behave the same. And it goes to setting. Right, okay. Setting. Okay, so we're going to write out to that valve. So if we open the valve, that's going to go straight to the solid fuel generator. If we don't open it, it's going to pass through and it's going to come through to the furnace. So that's how I have to physically set it up. Open to route to generator. Okay, so I think that's right. We'll find out, I guess. And I'm just going to put a little reminder for myself in here to say use R3 to trigger furnace, because at the moment I'm only doing the routing. And I'll come back and sort that in a minute. We'll export that onto that chip. And we'll throw that in there and we'll turn it on and let it do its little error thing. Of course, there's no power to that network yet, is there? That's the bit I haven't done. Okay, that's fine. Right, so I need more purple cable. I need... yeah, that's key. More purple cable. And I need to figure out how to set up the chutes in terms of the actual mechanics of it. Right, so the input part of the chute, I guess we're going to run over this side. We actually probably want to put the override. It's a bit frustrating because I'm going to want to run the outputs are going to come up here, and we want to. Do we want to end up? We want to end up on that long run there. But I want to put the. I'm going to need to put the switch. Where am I going to need to put the switch? Probably there. That means whichever way we do this, we need 2 long runs because we've got to get a loop that basically goes all the way up into there and then all the way back out of there. There's not really a better way to do it, I don't think, so I think we're just going to have to soak that up. So let's start with some chute 10s and I guess we'll put them into something. Put one there, and I guess we'll put another one next to it. We'll have to just have an up and a back. And I could loop the whole thing and have everything flow up, all the coal at least flow up, and have a switch just at this end. But it doesn't actually reduce the amount of chute that's required, really, one way or the other, does it? So it doesn't really matter. Let's put that one there. Okay, well, there's not much point in doing anything with that last chute. I'm going to need a lot more. Actually, having said that, that one can come in here. So I'm going to want just a 1 there, somewhere. Actually, what am I going to want to do? So that's going to flip-flop it up here. We're going to put the powered chute in there. I can't even work out what we're going to do with that. I'm going to have to build it and figure it out. It's too confusing. Right. Chutes. Of course I'm going to need much more iron. I suggest probably that's not going to be enough, but it might be. Right, how are we doing for cable? Not terrible. Okay, I probably don't need another 50 of that. At least not for now. I'll take 20 and then I'm going to build a transformer. Right, so just look at the logistics of this. That's going to... Let's see where it actually comes out. Right. Do I want a valve? Just trying to work out whether I want a valve or whether I want a flip-flop splitter. Maybe a flip-flop splitter is actually what I need there. Let's quickly pop that on pause. Let's just try and have a look and see. No, that's in a 1:n ratio. Just can't quite work out. Stop or be... No, that's not really what I want either, is it? What I want is one which is like a powered junction. Maybe I didn't need a powered chute after all. I think I do. Not a junction, but a controllable flip-flop. Okay, I'm going to have to play around with this. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to make this work. Unless I have an overflow. Maybe that's what I have to do, is have an overflow and an overflow pointing into a valve. So we shut the valve, nothing goes through, and it takes the overflow route. That's probably the correct way to do it. Which means the valve shuts when we want that to go to... Get this the right way round. Right, I'm going to have to work this out. This is much more complicated than I wanted it to be. I thought there was a simple kind of powered junction, but seems not. I know I've made this sort of thing work before, so I know it's possible. I'm just got to get my head around it. Right, I'm going to have to go and feed myself in a minute. I'll drink more water myself, rather. Right, we need a transformer. That's going to need more iron. Of course it is. No, why did I think it only needed one? Because it actually only had one. Oh well, that can go in there anyway. Now it only needs 8. Right, we'll get that going. I'm going to need more heavy cable, I expect. I'm going to need more heavy cable anyway, so let's just do that. Got any more in there? Oh yeah, take that. Right, nearly done.
Hunger caution.
What's that run out of? Gold. Oops. Right, okay, we'll grab a little bit of gold if we've got the power to do it, which we haven't. Right, I might as well let that run anyway. Okay, this will be enough for now, I think. Let's go get this set up. Did I pick up the purple paint? No, I didn't. Get in that hand there. Might as well do something useful while I'm in the airlock. Now, maybe there's a cunning way to do this. There may not be. Wire cutters, thank you very much. Come on, you can find it. There it is. I know you can. Oh, I went too far anyway. Looked further from the other side. Right, there we go. That's good. That's our data network. Shouldn't need huge amounts of power on that. Actually, we may as well get on with that outside. Okay, so that's now connected. So we should now have power on the data network. Really going to have to go drink in a minute. Okay, that's the beginning of that spur. So that's good. Right, okay, let's see if I can figure out what needs to happen up here. Really don't have a good sense of how this needs to work. Where's the powered one? There it is. Right, so if I put that as a valve, I see what confusing me is this left-right business, but I think it's just... Yeah, okay. So... So the valve needs to say whether or not it's going to the generator. I think I've got that the right way round. That's annoying, I'm going to have to rip out that nice long 10 run there, aren't I? Yes. The valve... okay. In fact, I'm going to have to rip out a whole load of these because that's going to have to come out as well. Well, let's deal with that. Right, and then go in there. This is reasonably time critical because at any point some coal could come flying down there. Right, let's that can be a 3 there. Right, short term, that just needs to go in there so it stays connected. Right, but longer term, what's going to happen is that's going to go down there. And then I think I need an overflow on here. Oh, this is irritating. So that's actually going to have to go there. Right, okay. Right, well. So we'll put the overflow do this. So we want to try to push it to the left. Okay, I think that's correct. Right, there we go. I think this is right. That goes there. And then I think what I need is this in here. I know. I think I want that there. So when that's closed, that will divert this way. When that's open, it will go in there. And then I think I need that to become... Let's just do this for a second so I can see what I'm doing. That needs to become... a junction. Okay. So I think that's correct. So that will open and allow stuff to flow through, otherwise when it's closed it will be forced along that one. And then the last part of the jigsaw is we then have a long run here. Okay, we'll do that and we'll lift it one. Then I'm going to have to really go and sort myself out, aren't I? Okay. Come on, get in there. There we go. Right, okay. I think that's kind of right. Find out when we get to it, really. In the meantime, let's get inside before I die, which is possibly going to happen. Possibly quite soon, if I don't sort myself out fairly quickly. Yeah, alright, cancel the pressurise. No, what have I done? Oh my god. I know, that's okay. I thought Yeah, no, okay. I thought it was on the wrong bit of the cycle. Brain short circuit. Right, okay, let's drink that. Here we go. I'm no longer dying. Yeah, definitely not fully with it today, am I? Sorry about that, guys. There we go. Right, okay. Right, that's now running. That should ultimately obviously be a green piece of cable. Just might have some green paint in here. No, I don't. Never mind. Could probably do something with that though, couldn't I? That would give me another bit of cable to use later on. We'll move that at some stage. No, that is actually truly a defunct piece of cable, so that's cool. There we go. Right, okay, with that done, let's go and see if I can figure out the rest of this chute routing. This is taking a lot longer than I'd hoped, although I have done some work on the power network, which I didn't expect to do. Try and get a bit more done. I'm not sure how much longer my voice is going to hold out today though, so probably need to think about stopping and not awfully long, but we'll see how we go. Right, so we haven't got anywhere near enough chutes still, of course, but right, now, well, these will need to cross actually, won't they? Yes, they will. Okay. A simple way to achieve that is to bring that under there. Let's go down. Down there, along there, and that way. Come on, silly thing. Right, okay, it's fine. And then I'm gonna just lift it up a bit because I don't really want it clipping through the ceiling inside that room. But that gets them crossed over. That was complicated. I'm going to need to paint these because I'm never going to know what on earth is going on otherwise. Right. Okay. So that being the case, let's... I've only got 2 left. There's no point in even starting that. But all there is point in doing is trying to wire that. Somewhere. Not sure where yet. Where's the data network? It's over there, isn't it? Actually, I should have just run it straight across while I was up there. That would have worked better. Yeah. You're not going to go through there? No, you don't do that anymore. Okay, that's annoying. Used to be able to run cables through those. Run them through the corners though, so that's good enough for me. There we go. You can drop down there. Don't think that's going to interfere with that one because I think that chute's going to end up connecting in there. Yeah. Yeah, we'll just connect it there. That's the least amount of cable required. Okay, good. That was actually almost straightforward. Right. Now, in theory, should just be able to reroute that up there, and then that should have the same effect we already had. Ah! That's what I was trying not to do. There we go. And then those can come out. Let's approach that from this side. That one there goes that way, and that one goes that way. Amazing. That might actually be connected. So that should go up and over. That should be set currently to open. Let's not mess with that. That should allow that to all flow down there. Anything coming in on this return here, which will be the solid fuel, come through that way. Okay, nice. Let's just stick that one on there for now. We may as well use it. Okay, so we're going to need a load more chutes. Luckily, I have a few more at least. It's not going to be enough, but you know. Bend some more iron. Kick it in the furnace. Get it going. I'll deal with that gold in a bit. That's a later on problem. I realise that's a bit risky, but It is a later on problem. Right, that's enough for another 6, isn't it? 7. I can definitely feel my voice starting to go now, so hopefully you can all still hear me okay. Really nice to get this finished, this episode. Not sure it's going to happen. Right, let's just leave that. Let's get that in as well. Go on. Use it all. Spend the next 20 episodes shredding excess chutes. Right, okay, there we go. Oh, look, day 93. Right, okay, come on, down we go. Thank you. Right. Okay, so I'm going to bring these somewhere across about here. Why won't you let me do a 10 there? Probably about there and there. Let's try that. So let's put yeah, can't really do a 3 when you've only got 2. Let's try and do that onto there. Oof, I was standing a bit closer than I wanted to be there. Actually, do you know what? That could have been a 5 and a 1, but I've got what I've got. So let's do this properly. Let's do this properly. Come on, do it properly. I won't have to do it a second time. That's better, right? Straight and a corner. Yeah, I know. It's always a problem, isn't there? Hunger critical. Let's not stand in the way of it, that would be bad. Right, okay, there we go. Let's grab that one off there. Do we need to put this then to line it up? There? Yes. That's a 5, so that's as good as that's going to get. 1, 2. Okay, so we'll get the corner on there. Well, we are getting there. It's a bit of a mission, but we are getting there. Then, of course, I've still got to build that bit of logic that I talked about to have the furnace actually trigger, but I run out of... use all my iron making chutes. And kick. Ah, that was terrible. Just go in. Right, back up on the roof. Okay, so I need to connect these up now. Yeah, wrong one. What's that coming along? That's pretty close, actually, isn't it? Good, okay. Put this corner on here, otherwise I'll forget that later. Okay. So it's getting there. Still got to connect, obviously, all the chutes actually inside, which is definitely going to need a load more. Right, that's enough for 17, that's still not going to be enough. It'll be amazing when it's done. Maybe. Right. Okay, oh look, I've still got 10 heavy cable there as well. Well, one is printing chutes. Let's go and expand this a bit. Probably going to want to bring that across here somewhere, aren't I? So... probably as good a place as any to turn it that way. Okay, we'll run it along there. Well, it's coming together. I mean, to be honest, the major achievement of this episode so far is the backbone of the data network, but hoping that by the end of the episode we might have connected these chutes at least. See how this is looking. I can't work out if I'm going to need yet another stack of iron. I mean, I probably should just assume I will, but it is getting quite close to connecting. Bet this turns out that doesn't quite fit with the 10. Yes, that's exactly how it turns out. Amazing. Alright. Okay, that's at least reasonably tidy. And we'll put the corner on there. Come on. No, come on. Thank you. The other corner can go on there. Right, no, I don't want a window, I just want a straight. Okay, there we go. And with 2 left, that's not going to go very far, is it? But that's 1, that's 5, so that's 15, 16 to there. I reckon it's probably about 18. Well, I don't think I'm quite going to have enough, but I might just about have managed it. It's looking particularly dark. Right. Honestly, the rotation on these long pipes and chutes is odd. Oh, no way, that's way less than I thought. Has that actually done it? Yes, okay. Nice. Alright, well I've got 5 left to basically figure out how to connect it up inside, which probably won't be enough, but at least I can get in there and have a look. Right, let's vacuum out that. Okay. Might just about manage to get this possibly connected. Right, so let's turn that on. Let it throw an error. So thought all of these. So that's the chute. The chute route. That's that one. That should be the solid fuel generator. And that one needs to still be, yeah, I need to mirror those, or I need to connect those. Right. I'm going to need to, at the very least, mirror the gas tank, because this chip needs to see it, unless I want to put that onto the data network. But then that also cares about that. It all gets a bit complicated, doesn't it? Okay, so we'll mirror that hot tank. Let's go and see about these chutes next. Yeah, look, some more chutes. Convenient, one, but you know. So what do we want to do with this is actually just basically make it go upwards. Make that one go there. It's a whole bunch of corners, basically. Right. Do you know what? I'm going to put a window in there. At least then we'll be able to see when stuff comes out. Right. Okay. Is there anything else that furnace needs to be controlled by? I don't think there is. I'm going to have to check that chip and just make sure I know what it's doing. I think it's just looking at that temperature and that temperature. But it's been a while since I wrote that code, so let's go check. Now I want the chip. I don't want to close the cover. Go in there, import that, edit that. Right. Oh, actually, that's not doing very much. That's fine, and in fact, one of the things I wanted to do was to hotbox that rather than try and vacuum sell it. So, whilst we're in here, that's the only place that cable is going to be a problem. Pressure, now which one do I want? I want the pressure output, and I want to set that to 100. That's correct. And I want to set the mode. I'm going to have to check which way I want to set the mode. Let's pause that for a minute. Active vent. Oops, no, the actual active vent, not the kit. Mode. I want that to be set to outward. And actually I want to set the pressure, it's pressure external, I want to set not. Whoops. Is that right? Did I get that the right way around? No, I want that set to 0. Right, we'll do that, and then actually I don't need that code after that. So we can... no, that's not right, is it? Chip is there, put the chip in there. Okay, so hopefully what that should do... Of course, I've had this problem before, you can't actually see the active vent properly. I can't see it. Check it's blowing the right way. I think it's blowing the right way. Okay. Yeah, it is. I can see it sucking the air in. Okay, good. Right, so that should do its thing there and just run that. Okay. So that means I can safely do this. And then I just need to It's because of the way I cabled the tank. That's the only real issue. Wonder whether I can just run it around. I've got enough, not with 4 cable I haven't. No, with the best possible cable routing I'm not going to get around there, am I? But let's see if I can do something. Let's just check that that will... No, it won't, because that's at the ground level, so we'll need to run it along there. Okay, so I need more cable, but in theory we'll just run it around and connect it to there. And I need some more chutes. I need probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more chutes. Okay, however, in the meantime I should at least be able to connect the furnace up. Oh no, because I haven't connected that end anywhere either, so I need quite a bit more cable, don't I? Because I had the concept of a connection, but not the actual connection. Right, okay. So that needs to be snipped off there and become a corner. No, a corner, and it needs to go up that way. Okay, right. Let's go make another 20 odd cable and 5 chutes. See if I can do that before I have to go in and eat, because when I go in and eat I think that's probably when I need to call it a day for this video. It's getting a bit long, my voice is definitely very much struggling now. Let's see how we go. Right, let's just fully reset that chip. Now of course this is still trying to print. Right, that should sort that out anyway. Don't know how many it will print. Probably 6, because I think that's what I was trying to do before. Right, we need more iron. Bend it. Go, go, go. Smelt it. Oh no, maybe it was 16. Maybe it'll just go for 20 because I reset it partway through. I'm not really sure what was in the stack. No, it was 16. Right, okay. That's fine. Review that. No, not the floor. That would have been messy. I'll take another 10. I'll take 6 of those just to be on the safe side. Oh, it's still going. I'll take another 10. Oh, it's finished now. Oh well. Right, surely 30 cables enough, surely. Bet it won't be. Right, let's go and try and sort this out. Let's close that. Nearly, there we go, off. And right, so that needs to run across there. Come on, let's do it now. Oh, dearie me. Sympathise with my guy, to be honest, at this point. Right, this needs to go along here. And along here. Nice. Okay, we actually had plenty. I didn't need as many as that, but it's good to have some spare. Now I'll use it later. There we go. That goes in there. That goes in there. Now let's see if we can figure this out to make this into a nice set up where I can still feed it manually if I need to. Okay, so we're going to want a junction somewhere. Probably lined up under there. It's probably the right way to do it. Then a straight in there. Corner in there. Corner in there. I suppose an inlet there, and I'll just have to throw it at it. Okay, there we go, look at that, with one to spare. Okay, so we've got no automation going on around the furnace yet, but we should have some automation around feeding the furnace. Right, that was actually set right, so I just messed that up. That's the fuel tank, that's the thing, this is a fuel tank. That's the advanced furnace. Okay, well, moment of truth, I suppose. That's not a good start, is it? Incorrect logic type at line 9. I suspect that is because I am attempting to read the slot of something that's mirrored, which probably isn't going to work. The batteries run out on that. Amazing. Import, edit, pause. Right, okay, let's see if I can troubleshoot this, and then I'm going to have to go in. Right, line 9. Yeah, okay, so we can't read slot 0 of a mirrored. All I can probably do then is just try and read the actual quantity on it and see whether that does anything. Or if not, I am already reflecting that value to... Where am I reflecting the value to? I'm reflecting the value to the IC housing, which is running solid fuel generator anyway, so we could probably read it from there. It's a bit of a faff. Let's try that and see if it works. Probably won't. I don't really have time to sort it out either. Yeah, no, that's sad, isn't it? Okay, so okay, but what I can do, if I change that to setting, edit that, pause that, let's change that to setting. Export that, drop that in there, shut that down. Right, okay, let's go before I die. What I'd love to do is have time to make one super simple change, but probably not going to have time to do it. Oh, that was CO2 ice flying out of there. Oh, loads of it. Okay, that pollutant can sit there for now. What's that called? That needs a name. See if I can at least do that, then I'll be able to fix it later. IC housing, SFG control. Whoa, I'm getting dangerously close to dying now. Okay, right, let's get that in there. Let's get that stashed. Let's get inside. I'm going to have to go in and eat. So annoying because I'm very close to being able to sort what I need to do now. But sadly, I think we're going to run out of time. Could be wrong, but I think time I've done this. Well, let's first of all let's grab this first. Right, okay, let's harvest a potato. Let's cook the potato. Go. It's at least drink, so I'm not dying of two things. It's always good to only be dying of one thing at a time. Grab the potato, eat a bit of potato so you stop dying. Okay, right, okay, that's under control at least. Shut that door there. Alright, in fact what I could have done, might as well, is throw that on the floor. Let it melt. There we go, some CO2, beautiful. And I'll dump that as well. Good. A spare seed in here, that will do. Let's plant you in there. And shut that. Right, okay, that's all running. It's fine. Right, okay, come on. Let's do this. Let's do this and then it's the end. Right. So I need to change the mirror setting, which I will do now. And then once I've changed that, might as well grab that. No point in wasting it. Right, get in there. Yeah, I'll change the mirror setting to point at that IC. The other chip is already reading the setting value off it rather than the... Yeah, there we go, rather than the quantity. Let's turn that off if I roll through these. And it's that one, it was that simple. Okay, so that's now reading the setting. Okay, nothing else I need to do in here. No, let's go back out. Okay. All the way back down here. It'd be nice when everything's pressurised. We can just run around inside the base rather than having to go externally every time. But there we go. That was a little way off. Right, let's sort these batteries out. Switch that back across there. So I've actually got the laptop when I need it, which I'm sure I will in a minute. Okay. Oh, that's actually running. Without error. Okay, good. I didn't expect that. I thought I was going to have to come in and do some more configuration. If I'd expected that, then I might have even decided to fire it up. What I can't tell is whether we've got... it's got a bit of pressure in it. 30 degrees, it's not going to be enough though, is it? Let's suck out... It's only going to get a tiny pressure actually. Empty what's in there. And we'll bring... That's good enough. We'll bring some in. I want to bring in some gas. Not least because I want it to start heating that hot box. Temperature is dropping quite quickly still, but hopefully... Yeah, less quickly than it was, right? So... Yeah, much less quickly. Okay. Suck that out. Dump another load of hot in. Of course, the risk is that that was set to 100. As I heat it up, pressure will go up. I think we'll be okay. Sorry about that. I told you my voice was failing, but there we go. That's much better. Look, that is going to stabilise. So I think with a few runs on that, that will be fine. Okay, now in the meantime, I guess the test will be whether or not the whole chute system is working correctly. And we actually get any coal come through. Yeah, it still drops off quite a lot though, doesn't it? Okay, well, I'm going to leave some warm, at least, if not super hot gas in there. It'll warm up the hot box, but also it means if any coal does get routed through, we should see it come through. So let's now close that and that, because we don't want that heat leaching in here. I don't want the state of the waste tanks and stuff are. Oh, they're quite stable now, that's good. Much hot gas we got left in there? Probably not much. No, it's just the hot volatiles that we've processed through. Okay, that's fine. Right. So the next question is, how is this working? At the moment, that is open. So that is open, so it's allowing that to go straight through. I think I may need to change this close threshold to 1. No, it's not having it, is it? Oh, is it changing that rather than that? I think it is. Right, that's probably the problem. Chute valve. It's probably open. I need to change. And I'm probably changing setting. Yeah, I think that's exactly what the problem is. Okay, alright. Check what I'm changing easily enough. I'll need to go back inside to fix that. I'm indeed doing setting, and I actually need to make that say open. Okay, let's go and modify that then. And then hopefully... No, do not go all the way over there. Hopefully that will start routing some coal into the furnace, and then I just need to write some furnace control to say if it's got stuff in and it's hot, then pump in some hot gas, and when the hot gas gets too cool, pump it back out again. Which I'm not going to attempt to do this episode. It's not a huge amount more logic, but it's a bit more faffing around that will need further testing. But at least if we are getting the feed automatic, right, guess we'll go find out now. Wonder whether I should just reflect that onto here. Perhaps I should. I think that might be a good idea. Let's do that, and then I can see what it thinks it's doing without having to go out there. Okay, so that thinks it's saying setting of 0, which should be closed. Let's go take a look. Ah, no, I don't want to go in there. No, stop. Stop. I want to go over here. Okay, so that is closed. And if I do that, it re-closes. Okay. Alright, well that's a good start. Guess now I've just got to see whether it actually works. Okay, right. Well, I think that's probably enough for one episode. I've done rather longer than I'd hoped, but we have made some significant progress. The feeding setup, at least for the solid fuel processor, is now working. I hope, or at least it's built, if not working. We've also done quite a lot of power cable rerouting along the way. So that's all good, and switch that while I remember. So that's all good progress. We've still got power in there. We'll switch that one for that one, and we'll there. Nice. Right. Okay. Let's just dump that gas. I don't even care which room it goes into. It'll get taken care of in the end now. Okay, cool. Right, well, I think whether that's all we've got time for or not, that's all my voice is going to manage to cope with. Definitely struggling now, but hopefully be all right by the next episode. But I hope you enjoyed that. It was certainly progress towards automated CO2 production. So things left to do are automate that furnace burn, or not so much burn, but automate the furnace, and also to come up with some better mechanism than open the door and catch it on the way out to collect that ice, which I've got some ideas on things that might work. Worst case scenario, I might have to build a Larry in there, but I hope not. I hope that I can just use some cladding and some cunning chute placement to pick up at least the vast majority. We've only really got to get the ice out of that enclosure into some organised mess somewhere. It'll stay frozen, so that makes it a little easier. Good. Anyway, as I say, that's all we've got time for. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you on the next episode. Bye for now.